After having understood label break, now let's take one more problem to understand this better. So this is the class break 3 in which we are using the concept of labeled break now. Okay. Now what I want is pause the video and go through this class break 3. Okay. Either you can refer here in your printed notes, or if you want to understand with colors, look over here. Come on. Pause the video and go through this entire class. Do that. Okay, so tell me one thing, this class break 3 is similar to which one? Well, it is similar to break 2 which we had studied 5 to 10 minutes back. So see, this is the class break 2, okay. Now the only difference is that in break 3 we have the label outer over here, and this break has become a labeled break, okay. So let's go to that break 3 again. Alright, so this is the break 3. Now you already know how the labeled break works, okay. Now I'll just give you one hint over here, and based on that you try to figure out the output over here, okay. So listen to this carefully, okay. It is not difficult. Now over here, break outer means that outer is some label and this label is over here, okay. Now the concept is something like this, okay. The label outer is the label of this entire for loop. I repeat, the label outer is the label of this entire for loop. Don't forget that this for loop is also a block which starts over here, and it ends over here. Okay, so basically this for loop is a block and the block has label outer. Now pause the video and write the output of break 3 in your printed notes. It's over here in printed notes. Come on, do that. So did you write the output? What it is? Well, it is 1, 2. Very simple. See, if you have understood break 2, then understanding break 3 is very simple. Over here what will happen is I will take the value 1, okay, and the compiler comes down to for j loop. J takes the value 1. Now let me be a little fast because you know all this. When j is 1, this condition is false. Break outer will not execute. SOP j will display 1. Compiler goes to j++, j takes the value 2, false, break outer will not execute, SOP will display 2. So till here the output is 1, 2. Now pay attention, compiler goes to j++, j takes the value 3, and when j is equal to 3 this condition is true and break statement executes. Now if this outer was not over here, then what would have happened? Then this break would have terminated only the innermost loop, that is the j loop. But now because outer is already over here, it means this is a labeled break, and what the labeled break does is it terminates the block having the label. So break outer will terminate that block whose label is outer. In other words, it will terminate this for I loop. So break outer terminates, stops this for I loop. After for I loop nothing is there, so the output stops at 1, 2. I hope you understood this. Now let's go to break 4, which is pretty interesting. Now there is nothing to be taught to you about break 4, okay? So pause the video and write the output. You know all the concepts using which you can write the output over here. Come on, do that. Write the output in your printed notes. In your printed notes, it's there. Come on. Okay, so I hope you wrote the output. If not, pause the video, think again, write the output. Okay, alright. Now, what is your output over here? Well, the correct answer over here is that this program will not generate any output and you will get syntax error. So if you have written the wrong output, encircle the wrong answer and write syntax error. Whenever you do a mistake, encircle the wrong answer and write the correct answer. Why? Because the next time you visit this particular program, you will know what mistake you have done. And if you know what mistake you have done, then you will understand things better. So don't modify your answers, encircle the wrong answer and write the correct answer again. Okay. Now why do you think you had syntax error over here? So I hope you remember you had written one restriction over here. Do you remember that? Now what was that restriction? That restriction was that a labeled break must be written inside a block of the same label. So what happens is a label break must be written inside a block of the same label. So what happens is, if you see carefully, this for I loop and for j loop are not nested loops. The for j loop is not inside the for I loop. Outer over here is the label of the for I loop. Okay, and the for j loop is independent of the for I loop. Now inside the for j loop we wrote break outer, but please understand one thing, that this block, this block or this loop for j loop is not labeled outer. So we have not put the labeled break inside a block with the same label, and that's why you are getting the syntax error. So if you want, what you can do over here is you can write syntax error, and you can also write a reason that a labeled break was not written inside a block with the same label. Alright, okay. So that was the topic of break and labeled break.